Morning! I gone done it. You see all of these sheep in this field? That's my new flock of sheep. For years and years, I've been going on about sheep that don't grow wool, that grow like hair and shed. Because as a shepherd, I put a lot of effort and time and money into managing the wool on my sheep. And I've always moaned about the price of wool and been like, why is our wool not worth anything? Why are we selling it to the wool board when they pay us pennies for it? What's the point? And then someone was like, well, it's because the wool you grow isn't good enough, so don't moan. And I thought, all right, well, why are we growing it at all then? And then I sort of dabbled in Dorpers and few Wiltshire horns and this and that. I keep looking at getting these shedding sheep, and then I sort of get put off because everyone's like, oh, they're just goats, meh, they got no carcass, meh. And yeah, it's been hard to argue with that. So I just sort of got back in my box and carried on doing my thing, still moaning about it. And then last year I bought some Easy Care ewes out of the killers, and I tapped them with a Texel, and they lambed, and they've been fantastic, and I didn't use any insecticides on them, and I didn't have to shear them, and they reared their lambs fine. And we mixed some in our top pen in our store lambs, and they come to 113 quid. And then I killed some the other day, and they come to 148 pounds dead, weighing 45 kilos, 100% off grass. And I just thought, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I gone done it. So then I started delving in this sheep world, and there's like a few different breeds, and there's a lot of performance recording in them, and some are a long way from what I have already, and others weren't too bad. So I went for Easy Cares in the end, and I found someone fairly local and bought 63 1 to 3 llamas. And then I bought 10 new lambs, and they were expensive. They cost a lot of money. And I've always battled with this because they are the same price as a sheep, which weighs 25 kilos more. So their cull value is never there, so they always seem like not a better investment. But this is how I manage sheep at the moment. Before lambing, we have to crutch. I don't do that, so when they lamb, they end up having dirty tails and stuff like that, so it means we have to put an insecticide on them in about April, May time. Because I'm right down in the southeast, you can't get away with it. There's always a bit of fly strike about mid-April, May time, so we have to put an insecticide on them. Not a long-acting one, because we like to get them shorn in the middle of the summer, so we end up with just like a 6-week one. Costs about £1 to treat a sheep, but it's getting them in, sorting them, doing it. The lambs at that point are always too small, so it's pointless. So a few weeks later, we're gonna have to get them all in again, and we have to insecticide the lambs. I always choose one that's got a smaller withdrawal period, because we try and get some milk lambs away. So it's not very long acting, so then we have to look to do it again 6 weeks later. So the lambs end up having 2 rounds of it. The ewes have 1 round of it, get shorn, and then have to have another round of it, because we seem to be getting fly right into October these days. And every single time, it's getting the sheep in, putting fly stuff on them, all of this stuff that I'm sick of doing. And then I have a big bag of wool that no one wants to buy. So I'm done with it. Finito, almost. Because it's such a mind change to get over, like such a different mindset to get over, that I've only done it in a small way. So we're tapping with the ones I've bred and these and all that's probably 100 shedding sheep this year. And if it works, I'm going to sell my flock next year and go for it. Probably go for it. But right now we've got 100, and I'll tell you why that is. I am scared of the resale value of them, and I don't own any land. I rent everything, and if something happened and they all had to be sold tomorrow, I have a better asset in having my Texel mule ewes than I do in my Easy Cares, because at the very, very bottom end of anything, we can just send them all to the abattoir, and they're worth a lot more than the Easy Cares are worth, just down to the size really. I got a little video the other day of them next to my Texel mule tegs, and you can see the size difference. So purely on the fact that if I had to sell up tomorrow, I've still got a decent asset and I can pay off my loans. I've not gone double footed in. We've dipped a toe-ish. Actually, I reckon we put a foot in now. But I didn't go all the way because I'm a wimp. So it's a phased operation. So basically, I've got a bunch of Easy Care sheep now, which shed themselves. That's how you do it, baby. I've also had a bit of a mindset as well, because sheep are crazy to buy now. Buying replacements is mental. So I want to be able to breed my own. So I was looking at the rams that you can buy, like shedding rams you can buy, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I was just going to talk you through my shedding rams, but I just thought I'd show you these quickly. So these are what I have been breeding, these Millennium Blues. Those sorts of things. But the year before last, I bought some Scotch Blacks and I put my Easy Care ram on them and bred, see that horn thing? That. And that. So these are 18 months old now, and anything that was female and shed, I kept. And they're fine, like there's nothing wrong with them at all. They have had a very, very hard summer on very, very hard land. I pushed them in places they shouldn't have really been. And they've held up really well for it. And then last year, I bought some of these shedders and I put a texel on them, and I'm really happy with them. So I'll show you that quickly. Right, I've just got these in because there's a couple of sore feet, but it's just a bit scalded, so we're all good. I'm going to put these back out and I'm going to show you the ram that I bought. So then, when you enter the sheep shedding world, there are a few different breeds you can go for. There's heaps of people out there performance recording their flocks and selling like shedding rams and stuff like that. But they're all based from sort of similar places. And I don't know, man, their rams were like a long way from the rams I'm used to buying. But again, it's like a mindset. So I always buy rams that are like terminal size. So they're rams that you're breeding lambs for meat that are going to go into the food chain, not for retaining females. Like when you're buying rams for holding females, it's a very different thing for a start. But like some of them, they are small and they do look like goats, if I'm honest with you, and they're a lot of money. And I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and I was just shopping around, and I even looked at, there's a chap in Scotland breeding something called a Chevies, which is a shedding Cheviot, and he's been doing it for 20 years and he was selling rams, and I even had haulage to get it all the way back down near home, and I nearly bought one of them, but I didn't. So anyway, this is what I've done. These are my ewe lambs, by the way, that I'm holding back. Mainly Texel mule ewe lambs. Let me show you the ram and I'll tell you about them. Here he is. Got a pair of stones on him, hasn't he? So I'm not even going to tell you what I paid for him, because, in fact, do you know what? I am going to tell you what I paid for him. I paid £1,100 for him. Which is mental and really hard for me to say out loud to everyone publicly. But I'll tell you why I did it. My whole life, I have always had to settle for second best. In fact, no, I've had to settle for fifth best. And every time we get a few years in and I'm like, I wish at the start I just paid the money and bought that better one. But I've never, ever been able to afford it. Ever. Any ram we were looking at buying were like 750 plus, and I was like, all right, we can go up to 850, all right, we can go up to 900, and this was in an auction. Anyway, we went up we went up a bit more and we bought him. Now I'm not going to tell you where he's from, but I'm rather hoping he does the trick. Like, he is performance recorded and he's the right thing for us for breeding females, apparently, and I'm really hoping he is. I do think he is. And actually, considering it's the most amount of money I've ever spent on any sheep ever, I'm actually not unhappy about it, which is a good sign. My only worry is I've never had a lot of luck with rams. I haven't. They die very easily. I have them stolen. They just vanish off the face of the earth. Like, I've just never had a lot of luck with rams. So he is currently the most expensive sheep I own, and that terrifies me. Terrifies me a lot. And I put him in with these ewe lambs for a week because it's the only field I've got that hasn't got oak trees or like problems that I'm worried about him dying in. It just felt like the safest option, although being in with a bunch of ewe lambs at this time of year is probably not the smartest idea. So I'm going to get him out now and move him somewhere. I don't even know where yet, but I'm going to work it out. £1,100, and I mean, that is crazy, right? I know that's crazy, but he will tup 80 ewes, and actually my lambs, my fat lambs, are coming to 140 odd quid, and my store lambs averaged 110 in the market the other day. So really, we just need 10 lambs out of him, you know? 10 ewe lambs, please. So yeah, it's a hellish investment, and it is the start of something very new for us. But I'm excited by it. Like, I'm genuinely excited by it, because I really feel like it's the right way to go for us. Hopefully, it's going to take away a lot of the work that we have to do, so that I can spend more time doing other things. Farming is very much a way of life, but if you're not careful, you have no life outside farming. So yeah, there he is. The boy. Like, I feel like it's the right thing to do, but everyone I've spoken to doesn't. So it's like a, you know what I mean? One of them. We'll see, won't we? And then, so all these are basically my ewe lambs that we've held for now. We managed to hold them all the way through last year, and I've not regretted it at all. So we're going to try and do that again this year. But then if this shedding job goes right, and I'm confident next year, I may sell these as tegs to swap for some easy cares, I suppose. But it all could be a complete disaster, and I've blown a load of money on a ram that's no good, or I don't know, I might just not like it, or just doesn't end up working out for me. But to be honest with you, the farming job's hard, and I'm not afraid to try some new stuff. I'm not expecting it to be like the promised lands or anything, but I'm hoping this is the start of something really cool and new, and hopefully I want to go the whole hog with it. Like, I want to be able to breed my own rams and stuff like that as well. So I'm just hoping we got a good start here, which is not something we usually have. So yeah, there you go. That is the new thing. You may all comment how stupid I am in the comments. I will read them, and they will hurt, but I can take it. Truthfully, I just, like, the wool job is, maybe one day it'll come back. I just think it's pointless now. I'm so sick of it, and what with me working 3 days a week on an estate, I just don't have the time to do all the shepherding things that I did. Also makes us a bit more self-sufficient, so I can retain my own females, because I found a really nice thing that I like, which is a Texel mule. But to breed a Texel mule, you need a mule first, and I have to then buy in those mules to make that happen. So we're not self-sufficient in that respect, and I'm always trying to find money in the autumn to buy those, and hopefully by getting into the cycle of breeding our own sheep and holding our own females back, we can eliminate that. But it does mean that the mighty Texel mule, which I have had a lot of luck with, and I think they are seriously good sheep, it means stepping away from that and going for something with a little less value and a little bit less of an asset to own as well. So it's a big jump. It's a serious jump. Maybe in like 3 years you'll be like, you were right, what a guy. Who knows. Thanks for being here, and if you did like the video, give us a little thumbs up. There's also a hype button that if you hype it, it helps the channel go, which would be really nice. Thank you, really appreciate it. If you think I'm an idiot, press the hype button. If this video now gets the most hypes I've ever had, I'm gonna be sad. Well, not sad, but a bit sad. I will catch you on the next one.